promise of wisdom, there is a place where promises are not broken, where words are more than air, where safety is not a theory, but a living, breathing reality. It is in the heart of God's covenant. In Psalm 90, there is a sacred echo. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you, not by accident, not by luck, but because the Lord himself becomes your refuge, your shield, your fortress. And yet, there is a condition, an unseen thread that ties all these promises together. Wisdom, not the wisdom of scholars, not cleverness, nor eloquence, nor the applause of crowds, but a deeper knowing, a wisdom that walks in step with the heart of God. The scriptures whisper this truth. If you seek wisdom, you will live. If you embrace her, you will be protected. If you walk with her, your steps will not be hindered. It is not a casual offering. It is not tossed at our feet like coins to beggars. Wisdom is a hidden treasure, and only the hungry, the thirsty, the desperate will find it. And when they do, they will be covered by promises that do not shatter under the storms of life. They will be hidden under wings stronger than steel. They will walk through fire and not be burned. Because wisdom is not merely survival. It is flourishing under God's hand. It is standing when others fall. It is seeing when others are blind. It is hearing his whisper when the world screams. The promise is sure. The way is narrow. Few find it. But to those who do, life is no longer random. It is no longer chaos. It is covered, anchored, and breathed upon by the Spirit of the living God. The journey begins here, with a hunger not for answers, but for wisdom itself. The kind of wisdom that holds you, shields you, and carries you through battles you cannot even see. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but wisdom will keep you standing. What's one silent battle that's been shaping your faith lately? What is true wisdom? We live in a world drowning in information. Words flood our screens. Opinions fill our ears. Knowledge has never been so available and so hollow. True wisdom is not simply knowing. It is not memorizing verses, stacking degrees, or winning debates. The book of Proverbs says, "Get wisdom, get understanding, do not forget my words or turn away from them." But it is not a wisdom that puffs up. It is a wisdom that stoops low, that listens before speaking, that bends its knee before God. James, the brother of Jesus, peeled back the layers. He wrote, "The wisdom that comes from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere." Pure, peaceable, gentle, not arrogant, not aggressive, not proud. Wisdom from above shapes not just the mind, but the soul. It chisels away impatience. It carves gentleness into angry hearts. It softens the sharp edges of ambition and pride. It is possible to know all the right answers and still be far from wise. It is possible to memorize the scriptures and yet never embody the God who breathed them. Wisdom is not proven in how quickly we answer, but in how deeply we live, in how patiently we endure, in how kindly we speak when wounded. True wisdom knows when to remain silent. True wisdom knows when to lower itself so that Christ may be lifted higher. And yet, this wisdom does not come naturally. It is not a personality trait or a family inheritance. It is not born in the halls of universities, nor purchased with gold. It is forged in secret places, in hidden battles no one sees, in the quiet choices made when no one is applauding. Wisdom waits at the crossroads of every day, in how we answer an insult, in how we carry ourselves when overlooked, in how we choose to bless when it would be easier to curse. It is not flashy. It is not loud. It does not seek attention. Yet it leaves a fragrance in every room it enters, the fragrance of Christ himself. When the world sees a truly wise man or woman, something awakens. They may not understand it. They may not have the words for it, but they will say there is something different here, something that cannot be explained. Because true wisdom carries the fingerprints of heaven. It speaks the language of humility. It wears the cloak of mercy. It walks in the footsteps of Jesus. And above all, it does not belong to the strong or the brilliant. It belongs to the obedient, to the ones who hear the word of God and do it, to the ones who carry truth not just on their lips but in their scars, to the ones who choose the narrow path day after day after day. True wisdom is not earned by striving. It is received by surrender. It is given to the ones who know their own poverty, who stretch out empty hands and say, "Lord, I cannot walk without you." It is a gift. It is a fire. It is a way of life. The silent test. Wisdom does not fall from the sky like rain. It is not handed out freely at the moment of asking. It is proven. It is tested. It is forged in silence. There is a place between the promise and the fulfillment, the wilderness. Even Jesus walked there, led by the Spirit into the desert where the sand burned by day and froze by night, where hunger gnawed at his body and solitude wrapped itself around his soul. And in that place, the enemy came. If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become bread. If you are loved, if you are favored, prove it. The desert strips away pretense. It exposes the real questions buried deep inside. Not the ones we ask with our mouths, but the ones we scream in the middle of the night. Am I really called? Is God really with me? Will his promises really hold? The test is not always loud. It is often a slow erosion. A silent battle fought in the hidden corridors of the heart. No applause. No audience. No visible reward. Just the burning of hunger. The ache of waiting. The gnawing temptation to make something happen by our own strength. But true wisdom waits. True wisdom endures. True wisdom whispers back to the tempter, as Jesus did, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Not by appearances, not by immediate answers, but by trusting what cannot yet be seen. The silent test is not designed to destroy you. It is designed to reveal you. It sifts the soul, separating what is rooted in feeling from what is anchored in faith. Many begin the race with songs and banners. Few finish it with quiet trust still burning in their bones. Because wisdom is not proven by declarations. It is proven by perseverance. When the desert stretches endless before you, when the heavens seem closed, when the promises feel like distant echoes, will you still believe? Will you still cling? Will you still obey? That is the silent test. Not a test you can study for. Not a test you can cram for the night before. It happens in real time, in real pain, in real hunger. And the only way through is surrender. The only way to pass is trust. In the wilderness, wisdom comes not as a shout, but as a whisper. It grows in the cracks of brokenness. It blooms in the soil watered by tears. And when you come out of the desert, if you come out clinging to the word, not your own strength, you will carry a wisdom no devil can shake and no trial can steal. Because you will know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word, every whisper, every breath that flows from the mouth of God. When wisdom hurts, there is a secret the wise ones know, a truth rarely spoken but always lived. Wisdom hurts. It is born, not in the comforts of success, but in the groanings of broken places. It is like a woman carrying life within her. Long before the child is seen, there is stretching, discomfort, and quiet pain. The world may not notice the hidden labor, but she feels it with every breath. Wisdom, too, grows hidden first. It stretches the heart before it crowns the mind. It demands space where pride once lived. It presses against the old ways until they tear. It is not an accident that James wrote, "Let endurance have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." There is no shortcut to wisdom. There is no painless path to maturity. You will feel the stretch. You will feel the tearing of what you thought you could not live without. Dreams you idolized, reputations you clung to, strengths you leaned on. One by one, wisdom dismantles them. Not to destroy you, but to make room for something better. For the indestructible life of Christ to grow inside you. A seed must break before it bears fruit. A heart must yield before it understands. Sometimes it feels like God is silent. Sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. But deep in the unseen places, He is weaving wisdom into your bones. He is teaching you that your worth is not in your performance, that your strength is not in your image, that your identity is not in the applause of men. Wisdom is not given to the ones who demand it. It is given to the ones who endure, who carry the weight of obedience through long nights, who stay when it would be easier to run, who believe when everything screams to give up. The process is holy. The pain is sacred, because wisdom is not an idea to grasp. It is a life to be birthed. And birth always comes with labor, with waiting, with tears, with the sharp tearing of what was. so that what is new can be revealed. If you find yourself in the stretching today, take heart. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. If you find yourself broken open, take courage. You are closer to wisdom than you know. The pain is not the end. It is the beginning. The contractions mean life is near. The groaning means glory is on its way. And when the new life breaks forth, when wisdom stands radiant in your soul, you will not regret the price you paid. You will not even remember the labor in the joy of the birth. Because wisdom is not cheap. It is bought with scars. It is sealed with surrender. And it is worth it. Every tear, every silent prayer, every surrendered dream. Wisdom is the treasure hidden in the field, the pearl of great price, the crown no one can steal, and it is given to those who dare to endure the ache of becoming. Fear and love, the two roads. Every journey of wisdom begins at the same place, the fear of the Lord. It is written, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Not fear like terror, not fear like running from a tyrant, but a holy trembling, a reverence so deep it bends the soul low. It is knowing He is God and I am not. It is knowing His voice holds the galaxies and my words are but dust. It is knowing that to disobey Him is to unravel my own soul. In the beginning, fear guards the heart. It whispers, stay on the path. It warns, turn away from destruction. It protects like a fence around a young, fragile tree. At first, fear keeps us. It keeps us from rushing headlong into ruin. It teaches us restraint when everything inside screams for rebellion. But fear is not the final destination. It is a gate, not the home. As we walk, as we obey, as we listen even when it costs us everything, fear begins to bloom into something more beautiful. Love, not the shallow love of feeling, not the fleeting love of emotion, but the fierce love born from seeing His faithfulness again and again. The fear that once restrained us is transformed into love that compels us. No longer do we stay on the path because we are afraid of punishment. We stay because we cannot bear to hurt the one who loves us beyond words. The journey is personal. Times it is a brutal struggle. There are moments when fear grips the heart, when obedience feels like death, when surrender feels like losing everything. But every act of obedience, every whispered yes in the dark, cements our soul closer to His. Until one day, without even realizing it, we find ourselves not just obeying Him, but loving Him with every fiber of our being. Fear was the beginning. Love is the goal. And love casts out fear. When wisdom is full grown, it no longer trembles at the thought of punishment. It runs into the arms of the one it loves. It obeys, not out of dread, but out of devotion. It listens, not because it must, but because it delights to hear His voice. Two roads, fear and love, but they are not separate. One leads to the other, and together they form the sacred path to wisdom. Wisdom is not forever. Wisdom is not a trophy to be won once and admired forever. It is a flame that must be tended, a relationship that must be guarded. Even the wisest can fall. There was a king once, Saul, anointed by God, chosen, equipped, blessed. First he listened. First he obeyed. The Spirit of God rushed upon him, and victory followed his steps. But slowly, quietly, something shifted. Saul began to lean on his own understanding. He began to fear men more than God. He chose convenience over obedience, and the Spirit withdrew. The wisdom that once crowned him faded. A man who was once mighty became a man tormented by his own choices. Then there was Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, gifted by God with a mind sharper than any before or after. His wisdom drew rulers from distant lands. His judgments stunned the world. His name was revered. But even Solomon, even the one who saw so much, wandered. His heart, once devoted, grew divided. He loved foreign women. He built temples to false gods. He compromised one small decision at a time, and the kingdom fractured because of it. The wisest man fell, not all at once, but slowly, step by step. Wisdom is not a guarantee. It must be guarded with obedience. It must be nourished with humility. The moment we believe ourselves unshakable, the moment we trust our own strength, we stand at the edge of great loss. The fear of the Lord must remain. The love for His ways must burn brighter than the love of comfort, approval, or ambition. Wisdom is alive. It grows with surrender. It withers with pride. It is not about how brightly we start. It is about how faithfully we finish. Saul's story warns. Solomon's story warns. Wisdom is not forever unless we remain in the one who gives it. And only in his presence, daily, humbly, surrendered, can wisdom live, breathe, and endure to the very end. The quiet crown. True wisdom does not announce itself with trumpets. It does not demand recognition. It moves silently like a river shaping mountains without a sound. The wise are often mistaken for the ordinary. Their crowns are invisible to the world but dazzling before heaven. Wisdom lifts a man without him trying to rise. It honors a woman without her striving to be seen. It is written, "Humble yourselves before the Lord and he will exalt you." Not in showy triumphs, not in worldly fame, but in the quiet dignity of a life that radiates the presence of God. A wise person chooses the last seat at the table, and without asking is called forward. A wise heart listens more than it speaks. And when it speaks, its words carry weight far beyond their volume. A wise soul serves without applause, and finds itself entrusted with more than it could have grabbed with ambition. This is the quiet crown, not a crown you place upon your own head, but one the king places when no one else is watching. Wisdom does not clamor for attention. It does not rush to the front. It trusts that God sees. It believes that God's timing is perfect. The world says, push yourself forward. Wisdom says, bow low and wait for his hand. In everyday moments, wisdom shines brightest. When someone offends you, and you choose silence instead of retaliation. When you could boast but choose humility. When you could take but choose to give. When you could judge but choose to bless. Each choice weaves a golden thread into the quiet crown. It is not earned in the spotlight. It is earned in kitchens, in offices, in unseen fields of obedience. And when the final day comes, when crowns are weighed not by gold but by the depth of love and surrender, the quiet crown will gleam the brightest. Because it was never about being seen. It was always about becoming true. Final trial, can you pay the price? There comes a moment in every journey when the question is no longer about dreams, visions, or desires. It is about price. Are you willing to pay it? Wisdom is not cheap. It demands more than admiration. It demands everything. It will ask for your pride. It will ask for your comfort. It will ask for your right to be understood, to be justified, to be seen. It will ask you to stay silent when falsely accused, to bless when cursed, to serve when unseen, to forgive when wounded again and again. Can you endure being overlooked? Can you endure being misunderstood? Can you endure walking in obedience when the rewards seem invisible? Because wisdom is not proven in ease. It is proven in fire. There will be days when you will want to answer back and wisdom will whisper, be silent. There will be days when you will want to defend yourself and wisdom will say, trust me. There will be days when you will want to run and wisdom will say, stand. This is the final trial. Not one of knowledge, but of character. Not one of appearance, but of substance. The true currency of wisdom is not brilliance. It is brokenness. It is patience. It is trust. The final trial asks, will you still believe when the path is hidden? Will you still obey when no one is applauding? Will you still love when love costs everything? There is no shortcut. There is no bypass. Only the long, slow, sacred way. The way of carrying your cross. The way of dying to self. The way of rising not in your own strength but in His. Wisdom is waiting. She stands at the end of the trial, holding a crown forged in fire. Not for the strongest, not for the fastest, but for the faithful. For the ones who dared to believe that obedience is greater than success. That surrender is greater than control. That becoming like Christ is the highest prize. Can you pay the price? Will you? The crown is waiting. And it is worth it. Closing appeal. If something inside you stirred while listening, it is not an accident. Wisdom is calling. She is near, and she is worth everything. You do not walk this path alone. The one who calls you will also carry you. He will strengthen your hands. He will steady your heart. So take the next step. No matter how small, no matter how trembling, He delights in every step that draws you closer to Him. If this touched your heart, help share this. Like, comment, Subscribe not for numbers, but so this message reaches someone else who needs it. May you walk the sacred path of wisdom. May you endure the silent trials. May you wear the quiet crown. And may your life whisper the glory of the one who is wisdom himself.